So I wanted to do a quick video, it'll be real short. I just wanted to show you some of the mistakes that I made on the previous video, and also some of the mistakes that I've had a few viewers asking me about that I've noticed is kind of common. So if you're confused about what I'm doing, watch the previous video. This is all about the product-specific reviews. One of the common issues I'm noticing is people aren't making sure that their database's settings are correct. So make sure that your settings for your database is custom use. Again, all of the names do matter. You need to make sure, look at your properties for each item and make sure that your properties are correct. One thing I didn't mention in the previous video was this load more button. Well, really it's text. I don't think I mentioned the properties of this one. You need to make sure this one's ID is results pages, and then as you can see here, I don't have it here either, but this needs to be on click. And again, make sure it's not adding this silly 1 or 2 or anything like that. And then if you click it, you can go to see where it's actually doing something with that, and it shows you here it's going to load more. Another issue I see quite often, and I'm not sure how it's happening, but when you add your properties, like the button, somehow it's getting a link. So you need to make sure that, especially like this button here for adding the review, is not linked to anything. Make sure that that's clear, because the code will actually tell it what to do, and it needs to do it because it's grabbing the product page that you're on's info in order to open that lightbox and get the right information to load into your review stats database. Kind of click through and make sure none of these links are happening. As you can see, there's one here too. You don't want a link on this. You want nothing on there. You want none. You also don't want it connected to any data because the image information is loaded from the code as well. What else was there? Oh, one of the things that I didn't notice previously or didn't mention previously was on the reviews repeater, this section. On item ready, you just hit the add button and it should put in the right information. If you kind of click off and hover over it, it'll tell you what it says. Actually, mine says -1, so I need to fix that. I don't want it to say -1, I want it to just say that. So, did not save. So there it is. If you click it, it'll actually bring you to the section of the code that it's referencing. Whenever you click add on any of these things, it throws in this little section here. Like it's waiting for you to give it information. So if you're messing around with all of this, I would recommend I don't think it makes a difference because it's not actually telling it to do anything here, but just all of these little entries are kind of a mess. So you might want to just recopy the code and then repaste it, just to keep your code clean and so you can troubleshoot easier later if something else goes wrong. The other issue that I had was in the reviews lightbox. I told you guys to add a input of a rating input, and that's actually incorrect. So you can delete that, and what you need to add is a radio button, so one of these. So stick that in there, and what you're going to do, you can change the layout to horizontal and manage your choices. These are going to be 1 through 5, and this is what the code is actually set up to read, oops, can't type, 5 and 3. And then each of these needs to have the same value. So edit value is 1, 2 is 2, 3 is 3, 4 is 4, and 5 is 5. Okay. And then of course, you know, design it however you want it to look. And then make sure that that is named correctly. It is going to be radio rating, and radio rating change needs to be clicked in the priorities. Radio rating on change, and I'm pretty sure they probably put a 1 on there. Yep. So just delete that 1, and that added this. Oh, it didn't add it, so that's good. So just fix that for me, and that should fix any issues you're having on the product page with this section, because this code is actually reading a radio rating box. It's looking for a number 1 through 5. Oh, another quick tip I wanted to make sure I mentioned. We discovered through some trial and error that the reviews are actually going to load on every single page if it is not a fresh load. So if in your shop you have breadcrumbs, like, I can't give an example, but so say like on this page you have next and previous, like right up here on these breadcrumbs. If you navigate through your products by clicking next or previous, it's going to load whatever products were on, or whatever reviews were on that next or previous product. So you would have to click refresh, and then it would filter. And that's because the code runs whenever the page is refreshed. So you might want to just take out the next previous breadcrumb from your product page and make people go to those products from a fresh click. I hope that makes sense. Any other issues that I come across that I hear from you guys I'll try to address again in the future? Let me know. I hope this helps.